Hi guys, welcome along to Barbecue Talk Show. I'm back. My name's Matt.
And my name's Ryan. Thanks again for Phil filling in last week. It was much appreciated. Cheers, brother. Really cool.
Cheers, Phil.
So,
how are you, mate? You okay? It's been I feel like I've been away for ages, but I haven't. It was only a week. In fact, I wasn't really away for a week because I think I made a guest appearance, didn't I, in the beginning of last week's show.
You did. You popped in, albeit unexpectedly. It definitely threw me, and Phil looked a bit shocked as well, to be honest.
I'm not surprised, really, to be fair. After we were talking about setting up show earlier in the week, or earlier in that particular evening, my phone decided that it didn't want to close the app, and I just come straight back in again, didn't I? Woo! But yeah, no, you guys did an amazing job last week, and yeah, again, thanks, Phil, for stepping in. It was most appreciated.
Right, so
I see that I see the chat's going a little bit mad today already. It's nice to see a lot of people in, a lot of people watching.
Who we got? We got Daddy Dutch in, Square Table Degenerates podcast. That's cool. Pickles, thanks for jumping in. Tom, Barbecue Life UK. Julie, hi Julie. Hi Jules, should I say? Steve, Dutchy cooking. He's in.
There's a stranger. There's a stranger in our chat. Cider. Won't be a stranger, Cider. Welcome back. Yeah.
One of the brothers, Cider. You know you're one of us.
Yep.
Right. So we have a very important show this week.
Absolutely.
Let's do a little bit of run through before we get going. So don't forget the website, barbecuetalks.com. We still have a fantastic discount on the website for 15% off Meter worldwide and 10% off the Rusty Barbecue products as well, which brings us right into line. We have Russ in from the Rusty Barbecue Company, and he's going to be telling us all about his hashtag Q Together campaign, and what a worthy campaign it is as well. I totally believe in mental health. I've had a few issues in the past. I know a lot of people have had issues now and in the past. Everybody needs to get behind this, share it, tell the world. Hashtag Q Together. So let's get Russ up and let's talk about it.
There he is.
Hey, evening, guys.
All right, mate.
Yeah, living the dream.
Is there any better way?
Exactly. How are you both? Well?
Yeah, better from last week. I guess from people don't know why I was away last week, but I'm sure I'll touch on it later on as we get into the mental health thing. We'll touch on that. Yeah, feeling much better, much happier. Glad to be back. How about you? You all right?
Absolutely perfect, mate. Absolutely perfect. Run off our feet as normal, but I think everybody can say the same at the moment, can't they? It's a bit busy time of year, despite all the lockdown stuff. I think people are busier than ever, what with homeschooling and God knows what else at the moment.
That's good fun, isn't
it? Did I drop the bomb then? Yeah.
It's not good fun, is it?
No, not at all, mate. Not at all.
Good fun.
We've had some fantastic times this week with homeschooling. They talk about little victories. My eldest son, he's a pretty smart cookie on the computer side of stuff. He does computer science and all that sort of stuff. And he sort of tried to fleece me and my missus. He was like, "Oh yeah, the internet's really rubbish, blah blah blah. The computer's not working properly." So I was like, "Right, son." Rung up BT, got him the router thing in his bedroom next to the PC, 65 megabit solid, right? Broadband solved. Oh, my computer's running slow. So I was like, "Oh yeah." I went up. Banged in the admin password. He's got like eight pages of Google opened, and then his Microsoft Teams won't run. So I was like, "Oh, maybe it's that." So while all this has been going on, the missus has been emailing the school, "We got computer problems, blah blah blah." So yeah, school ring up Thursday. Well, maybe you guys could send your son into our IT suite and he can work from school now. And we was like,
Yes, result.
Jackpot! Shot
Maybe.
yourself in the foot there, buddy. Spot on.
So yeah, it's been bittersweet this week. It got there in the end.
Oh, good funny.
It's all about little victories. That's what you got to think about. Take one step at a time and little victories.
They
Yeah.
try everything, don't they, to get around it? Oh yeah, the lesson was cancelled. Fuck off, was it? I can see that it's not. It's sat there, like telling me that it's not cancelled. Get on and do your damn work.
Oh, the generation we live in now, the generation of
Oh,
class
mate.
shirkers, eh?
Not good.
To be fair, I did give him the benefit of the doubt, and also as well, his computer is running a bit ropey, so I might need to get in touch with some sort of IT guy to maybe remotely check it.
Wonder
And,
where you
tell
find
me-
one of those, Ryan. I don't know if you know
I'm
any
not-
of them.
I don't know. I don't think like you can get rid of porn remotely. I'm afraid, mate.
This one's not into that so much. It was the other one. It was
It's the younger one. He's still learning the ropes.
he's his father's son. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, dear. What
So-
little audience we have now gone within like the phone. It's not past the watershed yet, and we're already mentioning like stuff like that. Whoops. So maybe let's move away from the
Yeah. So
what you shouldn't use a computer for.
let's get into the main event. What we're actually here for, the important stuff. We can have a little bit of a giggle later on. But so Russ, tell us a little bit about yourself. We know how long you've been cooking over flames and smoke and stuff, but how did you put together the Q Together project?
Well, it's kind of been a bit of a labour of love of mine for a little while now. And I've been meaning to do something around mental health. I'm a bit cautious about what I put on social media and have been over the last few years. And for anybody that follows me on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, our groups, you probably would have seen that I put a post up over Christmas about myself last year and a particularly tough time I was going through. And for those that don't know, I've got a rare form of blood cancer, which last year kind of escalated to a point that needed chemotherapy. And I was in a pretty dire place, pretty bad place mentally. Physically, I was obviously shot to pieces. My wife was fantastic. My children were fantastic. And the support network I had around me with my parents as well was, it was absolutely amazing. I couldn't have asked for any more, but I still found myself kind of falling into this deep void that I couldn't seem to get myself out of. And, no matter how hard I wanted to, everything seemed to kind of combust around me. The barbecue community at the time kind of helped pull me through, if I'm being honest with you. The focus on my business, the love for the rubs that I'm doing, kind of gave me a bit of an intrinsic passion. And it was over that Christmas period that I kind of planned out the year ahead and decided kind of which way I was going to go with the business. It was either fold it up, close it down and move on, or really make a go of it. And I chose to make a go of it, to be fair. But I've always had that little lingering and, this little kind of thing sat on my shoulder kind of weighing me down from time to time. And like everybody, I'm sure everyone got a little bit down when the second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever we're in now, national lockdown happened. And I kind of thought to myself, I'm surely not the only person who's starting to struggle with this. I'm surely not the only person who's kind of going through a bit of a dark time. So for me, the barbecue community that we kind of live, work and breathe in at the moment is it's a massive kind of community of kind of trust, and people are supportive of each other. You put a cook up online and 9 times out of 10 it's all complete praise. Even if you completely cock it up, everybody's brilliant and helping you through. So I thought what I want to do is try and kind of get word out in that community and make our community aware of what's going on mental health wise and how tough some people may have it, because not everybody unfortunately is like me, who's got a wife and kids that can pull them through the dark times. And it kind of stemmed from there, really, I suppose. And I'm not a massive social media person. I've had to be because of the business. Started doing a bit of a research into hashtags and realized that's probably the way to go to get the message out there for a lot of people.
Definitely.
So that's kind of how it came to be, really. And we are here today. It's been a hell of a journey.
Yeah, what a ride! It must be
Absolutely.
to be experiencing that sort of thing, and then it's sort of like turn it round, almost turn the frown upside down and push it into a positive thing to help other people is absolutely amazing, Russ. And it's to your credit, man. Fair play.
Oh, cheers,
Yeah.
Ryan.
It's a very brave thing to do, to be honest, and it's a
Thank you.
amazing thing to do.
Thank you. I am, and I've got to say this now so that everybody knows, I am not a mental health professional. I am not medically trained. I am not, I've got no kind of basis to fall back on what I'm doing here. So everything that I'm doing, the whole kind of Q Together stuff is purely organic and about spreading word. And, part of why I brought in the two charities that I'm working alongside at the moment, both Mind and Calm, was to be able to offer that arm and offer that support. So that's kind of where we're going with that. But just quick disclaimer that I am not a mental health professional, and I'll never pretend to be.
To be fair, though, Russ, do we need to be mental health experts to be able to just, almost sort of just be a shoulder for someone to cry on, to talk to, an ear to bend? Do we need to be, or do we just need to be someone that can just be there?
Yeah. We're all qualified, mate. We're human beings.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, let's put it into perspective. So I'll go in and say the reason I wasn't on last week's show was I was in an extremely dark place. Yeah. To the point where my anxiety and my depression was just, I can't do this. I mean, I put it out there to yourself, Russ, to Ryan, to our moderators, and the love I got back was ridiculous. And it's that community. You think that you're no one's there for you.
Yeah.
And it turns out that everyone's there for you. You've just got to ask.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm quite a sort of reserved guy anyway. So for people to reach out and say, look, if you want someone to talk to, I'm here. Just shout. If you just want to get it off your chest, shout at someone, do whatever, I'm there.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here now and I'm offering that to anybody that needs it. Anyone that needs to rant, anyone that's in a place that can't see a light, just reach out.
Yeah. Mate, well done, first and foremost, for coming forward and saying that, because 10 years ago, the talk of mental health just wasn't there. It was such a taboo subject, and you were almost seen as a bit of a fairy if you were a bloke in particular to talk about.
If I'm a fairy, so be it. I could be a fairy. I really, whatever. I'm still here. I'm still here. 10 years ago, if someone had suffered with where I was, they might not have done that. It might have been something a lot worse.
Yeah.
So talk is the way forward.
Do you know what, Matt? You touched on something, and I'm going to try and fish up a couple of stats as we go through, because obviously I've been learning as we've been going through this. And back in 2019, 3.1 deaths per 100,000 was through suicide. Now in 2020, that figure doubled to 6.9 deaths per 100,000. So it's gone up massively. And like you say, you're still here. We just need to make sure that we've got that supportive arm out there. And do you know what? The whole thing of this Q Together is not to create a chat line where people can ring up and air their wares if they don't feel comfortable to. It's more just knowing that if they ever need to, there are people there. And actually everybody's thinking about it, so it's not such a bad big taboo subject to be afraid of.
No, exactly. And I mean, like you said earlier, with the whole lockdown, more and more people just trapped in their own little sort of bubble.
Yeah,
it's not good for anyone's health.
No, it's not at all. I mean, it's being felt by millions, and we're talking worldwide here. It's not just something that we're struggling with in the UK. Take those that are working on the front line, for example. Your NHS workers. Plenty of them are exhausted for the amount of hours that they're doing, but they're seeing death on a day-to-day basis in the most horrific way, and they're not being given the opportunity to grieve because they're just so busy. Absolutely. Kids have had their support network ripped away from them. School is a comfort blanket as much as, Ryan, you'll know this, as much as the kids moan and hate going to school. Actually, it's something that they rely on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So it's felt everywhere. And I use the phrase that you guys have probably heard me say a few times, and I'll keep saying it more and more, is that, you know, we're all in the same ocean, i.e. COVID and the darkness. We're all going through it. We're just all sailing in different vessels. So one man's problem is not the same as the next man's problem, but it doesn't make it any less important.
Yeah, 100%.
In the chat, there's lots of stories already. C-Mac said that his one of his very good friends, 20-year-old son, struggled and lost the battle with suicide. Lep, same thing. His brother committed suicide in 2002. Still fresh cut, 2018. So.
Do you know what? That everybody has got, and that's one thing that shocked me the most about this, is since I've had it, everybody, you know, I've had so many people contact me to say, Russ, thanks so much. You know, my brother committed suicide, or I lost a friend, or a father, or a brother, or a son, or a sister, or a mother. You know, it's horrendous the amount of people that have gone through it. Just horrendous.
Yeah, there's a lot of, as you said, even to this day, I still think there's still a fair bit of stigma behind it, and that's what this whole thing is about. Yeah, we need to get people talking and get people into the whole issue and embrace it and help people to understand it more, because the more people understand what they're talking about and can embrace the issue, the more of a almost positive thing you can turn it into, because the more people you have supporting people, which means the more people that can help people, which the better the place will be. You know, that sounds a really convoluted rant, but it's the truth. People help people, and people need to help people and understand what people need. And sometimes it's just listening is all you need to do.
And do you know what? I think people need to realize as well, this is an illness. It's a recognized illness. This isn't something that's going on in somebody's head. It's a medical illness that nobody has any control over. So it's the same as, I don't know, God, you know, getting a cancer, for example. It's, you know, it's all consuming. It's, you can't control whether you get it or not. It's just one of those things, unfortunately. Over Christmas, another reason why I kind of wanted to pick up traction on this is, for those in the States, apologies, you might not know a chap called Jonathan Ross here in the UK. He's a large chat host, done radio and things like that. And he's got a Saturday night slot where he interviews, you know, the big guys from around the world, and, you know, it gives some pretty in-depth and meaningful chats and interviews with them. And they had a couple of people on over Christmas, and there was one guy, a boxer of all people. I don't know if anybody watched it. So this big burly boxer who is an ex-traveler. You guys are probably guessing who he is. He came out and he just not bawled his heart out as in crying, but he opened up so much on that show. And for a guy who is supposed to show no weakness, you know, he stands in a ring and takes a punch for a living, is quite a powerful thing. So the more that we can get people talking about it, the better, no matter who they are, really.
Absolutely.
100%. Like even famously Prince Harry, he's a strong supporter, and he's suffered all sorts of things. Obviously, the death of his mother and the death of like when he was away working abroad in the forces and stuff. He must obviously saw some awful stuff. So
I think everybody suffers in one way or another, be it from indirectly or no bollocks. There is no indirect with this. Everybody suffers from mental health issues. It shouldn't ever be taboo, and you know, people get varying different levels of it. I mean, you might just have like a couple of mood swings like this. Other people, you know, have a full-on crash and they can't see a way out of it.
Yeah,
you know, and stuff like this is really going to help.
Yeah, it's just giving those people.
And I really do. I hope it does.
Thanks, mate. It's giving the people those tools to hopefully stop them from going to that dark place. You know, 125 people a week take their life to suicide because they've got to that point where they feel there is no other outcome, and there is no other.
I can quite, being where I was last week, I can quite easily see how that seems like a way out. To the point, like last week, the only way I can describe it was I was sort of in myself. I was a person, but I was this small and I was drawn into myself and I couldn't find a way out of it. I did find a way out, clearly, because, you know, I'm here talking happy with you guys now. So, but yeah, I can quite easily see how those numbers stack up. And
I put a post up today.
scary.
Put a post up today, Matt, and one that I think you'll hopefully take a bit of solace from is that I kind of look at mental health now as more of an injury rather than an illness. And you can get yourself back to running fitness. You could be match fit and feel absolutely fine, but you could tweak that hamstring at some point along the way and just completely go again. So
I saw your post today. It was definitely a good way of thinking about it. 100%.
Cool.
Definitely.
Good to see Pickle's comment there. Is again, the amount of people that just echoes what everybody's saying. The support for this has been absolutely huge, and if nothing else, just creating a bit of a platform for anybody in a dark place to know that they can turn to somebody, then that's win-win for me. Wow. It's heartbreaking reading them. It really is.
It absolutely is. But it's one of those things that needs to be addressed. It needs to be hit head on. There's no skirting around it. Yes, it happens and it's horrible, but the more and more we talk about it, the more it's accepted that it's okay not to be okay.
And that's completely right. That is completely right, and it's the honest answer as well.
Marcus Bowden, a great point there, mate. We rely on our friends so much to lift us up in times of down. Like he says, we're sat around the fire pit. Absolutely. Exactly the same. I'd have mates, neighbours round for a barbecue, and we'd sit and we'd chew the fat to the early hours. And all of a sudden,
right.
All of a sudden, life's a better place for it. So,
absolutely.
Completely.
Even it's that little social interaction that you now, obviously with lockdown, you lose. And it just, you don't realize how much that helps or how much we take that for granted. That little bit of social interaction from people doesn't feel like anything when when life is normal, but when life's like this, that social interaction is everything. And you lose it, and you lose yourself, you lose everything.
And it's not the same. I don't care what people say. It's not the same on a Zoom call.
Absolutely not.
One thing that I'm finding more and more with the kind of the digital world that we're living in today is that people hide, or it's very easy for them to hide emotions and feelings behind the digital platform.
Absolutely.
And to the outside world, everything looks rosy, but that's not always the case.
Like Marcus has put there, it's sometimes the guys with the biggest smiles struggling the most. I mean, it's all good. You could sit here and put on a happy smiley face, and you go away and you're not happy.
No,
it's just.
How many comedians have we heard of over the years that were, they come out later in life that have suffered with depression? But these are the people that, for a living, make us laugh, and they stand there and they act like idiots on stage, and that for me it's really quite chilling because they're having to put that inner person out of the way, compound it effectively, and probably make it 10 times worse by hiding it. So. Let's get everybody talking about it, and thanks ever so much, guys, for letting me come on and talk about it tonight, because it's not your usual Friday night, and I'm sorry for people that were hoping to join this for a beer and a Q chat, but I think unless we get out there and we publicize this and we talk about it, we're never gonna help our ones.
Exactly. If we can be a platform for people to just see this message, I'm happy with that.
Cool. 100%.
All right, granted, people are going to be like, oh, I don't really want to hear this. I'm listening to the news is always negative. This isn't negative. This is a positive action, positive movement that we're trying to cause.
Definitely.
We're trying to help.
So it's a thing to enforce, basically, just to let everybody know that you're not alone. There's people out there you can help. There's charities you can contact. There's experts that can listen. There's always someone that can help you if you need it. All you just got to do is reach out. That's all you got to do. Just ring a friend, ring a number off the internet, find something, because there's always someone or some there. Just listen.
And that's all
you need to do.
Absolutely.
And
reach out.
This Q Together campaign, what I want to do with the barbecue community is I want anybody who's struggling to be able to type into their search box, whether it be at the top of Facebook or the Instagram, and search the hashtag Q Together and see a flood of good posts from people and positive posts who actually take that as an invitation that you can contact them, because those people are basically saying, I'm here, come to me, let me take a bit of your burden for you. And I mean, I've had 2 phone calls off the back of this campaign and 2 emails from all from gents, but I had one chap crying down the phone to me. I had another chap who said, I don't really know why I'm calling, but you're right for a quick chat. And do you know what? Those people probably never had that support arm. And I'm not saying, yay me, but they've had somebody to reach out to. So for me, this campaign has already been a massive success, because there are 4 people's lives that, okay, we probably haven't helped cure them or get them into a great position, but we may just have helped tip that balance just enough to help them on their fighting path.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's to get them talking. That's the main thing. As soon as you start to talk about, as soon as you start to talk about this sort of particular thing, we're talking. It sort of like it opens up a lot of things, it can open up a lot of emotions, and as soon as you do start to talk, sometimes you find you can't stop talking. Because that's what I found when I went to counselling. I was sort of like, is it going to work? Is it going to work? But when you come out, it's almost like you can breathe again.
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
just like you sort of like you go in there and it's like, we're feeling a little bit apprehensive. You're not quite sure how it's going to work.
No.
But now I can't encourage anyone enough. If you're feeling bad or down or had some terrible issue, go and talk to, there's thousands of charities in the UK. I'm sure there's thousands of charities in America and around the world.
Absolutely.
Contact them with your particular problem. Go to your doctor. They're sort of push you in the right direction. Most of it is charity led, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But these charities are amazing. They turned my life around. They literally, I went from one situation of thinking, oh, what am I going to do? I'll be totally honest with you. I'll lay it on the line. This is what happened, right? A few years ago, I had a nephew, and he died. He was stillborn. And what I couldn't get my head round was, it was like literally a few days before, and then bang, game over. And it just completely blew my mind. But then I had issues I didn't even know I had, because my mum died when I was 4 years old, and I never really had any counselling or anything like that. I was just sort of shoved over to my nan, and they brought me up. But that particular thing triggered off a load of other stuff, and that's the thing. You don't understand that you're carrying it until you talk to someone professional and release it. You feel 10 times better. You've got to talk about it. It's the only way you can do it. You've got to talk about it, and you get it offload, and offload it to a stranger, someone who won't judge you, someone who
absolutely
doesn't have a vested interest. Just tell them, find them, and tell them.
For the podcast, because this will go on the podcast, I'm going to read out the suicide hotline number for the US and for the UK, if anyone is at that point. So the US number is 800-273-8255, and then the UK number 11623. So just in case, guys, there's that. Russ, have you got the numbers for Calm and Mind?
I do, yes. Bear with me 1 second. So Calm have a fantastic website as well to go and get information of, and that's on www.thecalmzone.net. A whole wealth. There's some fantastic tool packs on there as well to help with coping, just keeping yourself on track, during this particularly difficult time at the moment, plus obviously other worries as well. But their number is 0800 585858. But it's important to say they also have a web chat functionality, so you can go on and you can talk to somebody anonymously, and you can have a conversation with them from there. The Mind details is the website, again, a fantastic tool, is mind.org.uk. So again, go over, there's some fantastic stuff on there. I've misplaced the number, bear with me, I do apologize. So their helpline is
0300 123 3393.
perfect. And you can text them as well. They've got a text number, which is 86463. So again, you can text them and have a conversation. It doesn't have to be over the phone. If you're a bit nervous about initiating that voice conversation, there's other ways available.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a message in the chat from Robin. I believe this is Robin from work. This guy raised a incredible amount of money for the Movember Trust 2 years ago, and I mean, like, we as a business were in the top 5 for the UK.
Wow.
And it was down to that guy there. So he knows just as well as we do that mental health is a really big issue. And yeah, it's good to see that there's a lot of us that are trying to help push, put this into a more of a accepted place for people to talk about as well.
Yeah. Definitely, I agree.
Yeah.
One thing that I've tried to kind of steer at the moment a little bit away from is the donating side of things, and that is a thought through process. I'm not going out asking for donations or for people to put money into these charities. If they want to, then I would be over the moon and thrilled if they did. But we all know everybody's going through a tough time at the moment. There are people that are furloughed on 80% of their standard wage and struggling to get through every day. So I've specifically gone down, let's raise awareness. So, if you can get involved in these campaigns, then, please do. There's a lot still going on around the UK. So
absolutely right.
Yeah.
And well, we need to push it out globally. I'm sure everybody in America will 100% get behind this and use all the hashtags and link it up and put it out there, because I think it's so important. And as a barbecue family, which we are, it's a global thing. I chat to people in the US, as does Matt, and I'm sure you do as well. Australia as well. We've got people listening in Germany, and it's sort of the podcast gets out all over the place. It's surprising what countries listen.
Yeah.
So wherever you are, find out what you need and use it, and use the hashtag, and hopefully we can all help and support each other.
I'm glad you said that. I mean, I was chatting to a guy on a chap on Instagram called Spicy Jacks. Not trying to plug him in any which way, but he's got a show, and he's kicking off a barbecue wars, like what Alton's Barbecue did, Jay over in Alton's, which is absolutely fantastic. But we had a conversation on Wednesday night about it, and again, the support that's coming from North America is absolutely amazing. So I'm hoping that we can maybe create a bit of hype over there and get this, like you say, the queue together going over there as much, because the barbecue community is, if you like a flame, you're part of the community, whether you like it or not. So
turns out that we have a friend in common, Russ.
I know Robin Wilcox. I think this is from Fitness Days, potentially. Correct me if I'm wrong, Robin, but we've had many an interesting time at a health club when we used to work there when I was younger. So there we go.
Such a small world, isn't it? It's crazy.
It is. Was it the rule of 5, they say? Yeah, everybody, and 1 in 5 people will know, or you'll have a connection to in some way through somebody else. So
no way.
Mad.
There you go. It's crazy stuff. Yeah, he says yes. Fitness Days indeed.
Rock on.
Sam says great concept. So thank you, Sam. That's for Russ. I'll put that there so you can see it.
Thanks, Sam. Yeah.
So, should we have a little discussion about some Q stuff? I know we are a barbecue talk show, but
we're here to push this. This is what we're pushing. I'm sorry if you don't like it, turn off. But this is what we're about tonight. It's all about Q together. It is a barbecue thing, and I think it needs to be supported, and the word needs to go out there, and everybody needs to get behind it. Absolutely. We can talk about a little bit of barbecue stuff later on, but I want to get through these questions and make sure it's at the beginning of the podcast so everybody can listen and it doesn't drop off. You see, you can, if you're a podcaster, you know what I'm talking about, because you can see how all of the
stop talking about it and just get on with it.
So we've touched on how people can contact the charities. We've gone through that. So how easy was it to reach out to Mind and talk to them about the barbecue concept, or have you just sort of did that just come along naturally? How did that go?
Yeah, it was organic, to be fair. Calm, I knew through a friend of mine who she lost her father to suicide a while ago, and I've always kind of kept close to them, so they were a natural pull for me to sort of reach out to those. And you know, Mind is one of the leading mental health charities in the UK. So again, they were a natural. These charities, you said earlier on, the majority of people that go to their doctor and ask for help will get pushed into this charity system, because the NHS here in the UK, unfortunately, is a flood, not only with COVID, but general mental health, you know, patient volume that not everybody can be supported through the NHS. So, you know, they're crying out to get involved in things like this. They're crying out for support, for money, for awareness, just to make lives better. So, yeah, that anybody, Ryan, I could have contacted any one of the charities, and I'm sure they would have all jumped on board like these two have.
That's good. I was just purely curious. That's all, because obviously there's so many out there, and you just happen to pick up on these two. So maybe reach out to all of them. You know, the further you spread the word, the better. The more people you can potentially help. So because it's not even just mental health. You've got like things like alcohol and drug addiction, which is a splinter subject of mental health. That normally runs hand in glove with it, unfortunately. But that's just I don't know if it's a symptom or a cure, or like the horse before the cart, if that makes sense. But they do tend to run hand in hand.
Yeah. Very
so
much
the designs we've just seen, well, Matt just run up on the screen while we were talking.
Yeah.
Where did you come up with those? Did you commission them or design them yourself? Or
just designed them myself, and to be honest with you, I'm doing them on a daily basis, so I'm not sat down pulling up I've not got a social media schedule for these at all. It is purely just, you know, wake up in the morning and think about what's going on in my head. You know, I'm obviously doing a hell of a lot of research online at the moment, and talking to a lot of different people about it. So it's kind of just picking up on topics or areas that I've touched on that I think would be of benefit. And I've tried to give a couple of little tips and tricks that I've learned through my conversations and through my education on the subject, just to try and help guide. And the images are purely just stock images that I use to help kind of, you know, promote what I'm trying to get across the message, I suppose.
Yeah, and that's a great thing to be doing that. So people can get involved by sharing your posts, or maybe approaching you for the artwork you have. I suppose, would that be a good thing?
And yeah, definitely, anybody can have any artwork they want to share. You know, the way that I'm trying sort of, or I'm hoping that this will go, is that people will share a lot of my content, which, you know, we've got some really big names in the barbecue community on board. You know, I mentioned Jay. He's gone headfirst into supporting this, which is brilliant. And you know, some of the creations that he's doing with pictures of him and his daughter and that they're just remarkable and really kind of heartfelt. Artists from an Instagram point of view has been sharing. Marcus has been brilliant from a Countrywood Smoke as well, and you know, he's really on board and has been touched with things like this personally in the past, which is great. Well, not great he's been touched, but great that he's got experience to help out with. And you know, some really great names are getting involved, and I'm kind of finding now, the more, this is only a couple of weeks into this cycle, so as this is growing, you know, the bold, it's like the only way to describe it is like a mini snowball. It started off with, I started rolling down a hill, and as it gains momentum and grows and grows and grows, and yeah, the more people that can get involved. Ultimately, what I want people to do, stick that hashtag Q Together on all of your posts. If you support what we're doing, I want anybody that's struggling to be able to, like I say before, search that Q Together hashtag and know that there's somebody out there to reach out to.
Yeah, that's certainly what I've been doing all week. Every post I put on Instagram or YouTube or anything that's had Q Together in it.
I think you'll find that probably next week's show will have a Q Together logo in the left-hand side, as well as the Barbecue Talks on the right. Thanks,
Matt. That's brilliant.
No worries.
Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, I kind of touched on, and I hope I'm not jumping the gun here, Ryan, in terms of any questions, but we've got a big push coming up on the 30th of January. Again, something that I wanted to do, something more physical rather than just a post. It's a dead simple concept. All I'm asking people to do is to go outside at 7:30 on the Saturday the 30th and light their chosen piece of equipment. It could be a candle, it could be a lighter, it could be a chimney starter. You could put on a smoke, you could cook burgers, you can get a fire pit going. Hell, light the gas grill if you want to, but just take a picture of your flame, your fire, your piece of equipment, or whatever it is you choose, with the hashtag Q Together. No other words, nothing else, and just stick it up, and let's flood social media with positive messages and images of fire to show that there's a community behind the people that need it the most.
So will you be using that as the Greenwich Mean Time, or is that just any time, any local time to where you are?
Yeah, so my view is that, and I've said this to everybody, and I can see Sam Burks there from over in Oz, which, hey Sam, hope you're well, mate. I will get up and stay up for 24 hours if I need to and follow the sun in terms of this process. But I'm quite on the ball. I think it needs to be on Saturday the 30th, because it's the final Saturday at the end of what's probably one of the toughest months of the year anyway. And then throw the lockdown into it as well. So I kind of want to, and I've said before, it's the light in the darkness. I want to kind of spread a little bit of light amongst this dark time. And I think 7:30, irrespective of where you are. So in Sydney, 7:30 on the evening, your time, go out and stick it up. Same for me. And what I'd love to do is get a collage of all of the little Instagram posts. And again, my little mind's going crazy, but create almost a canvas of every one of these. Exactly. That's
awesome.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do. And who knows, maybe we could put them up for sale and raise a bit of money. I don't know. It's a potential there.
Absolutely.
So talking of money, are you thinking of pushing out any sort of merchandise of this to raise any sort of money and awareness for the hashtag?
Yeah, definitely. So I've got some caps that I was due to wear one tonight, but unfortunately I've been let down by the supplier. They've not turned up tonight. But I've got some Rusty Barbecue caps that have got the hashtag Q Together under the logo, and they're black and orange with the company colours. Not because I want to promote the business, but that's kind of the colours we're going with, the Q Together. Yeah. And 100% of the profits of that are going straight to charity. So it's not a money maker for the business. And I've been quite keen on that all the way through, that this is nothing to do with my business, but I want to use my connections to help, bounce off the back of this. So yes,
so where
we're starting with caps.
From when they come in, Russ? Where can they get them?
I'm hoping they'll be online Tuesday, mate. Hopefully Tuesday.
And how much are you selling them for?
£13.95 a cap. So not going to break the bank, but it's there. And I'm going to see how it goes and look at potentially getting other merchandise as well, potentially t-shirts and things like that, but we'll see how it goes.
Spot on. Let me know when they're on there, and I'll send some money your way, mate.
Good man. Thank you.
Definitely. I'll be having one in the post.
Yeah, good man.
So we've touched on the 30th. What sort of reaction have you had from social media, Facebook, Instagram, etc.? You sort of touched on that, but let's sort of dig down into that now.
Yeah.
1 second. I've just put that up. Steve from Dutchy Cooking, he's willing to print t-shirts for free to help. So Russ, reach out to Steve. He's done. If you lean back, Ryan, and show what he's done, he made us the Barbecue Talk Show t-shirts.
Yeah.
Steve, thank you, mate.
Steve, I'll give you a shout, mate, either later on tonight or tomorrow morning, and we'll talk on that. That'll be brilliant. Thank you so much. But that, Matt, Ryan, sorry. No, that's what, but that it fits in nicely, because you've asked what the reaction is, and that's the reaction.
That proves it. Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody wants to help. Everybody wants to get involved. I mean, the stuff that I put up, and my poor little Instagram feed is just constantly pinging me saying so and so was shared, which is great, and that's kind of exactly what I want. Like I said, I've had 2 phone calls and 2 emails from individuals who are struggling. So for me, this is already a winner. The reaction has just been immense, absolutely immense, and the fact that, as I mentioned, Spicy Jacks before across the pond is, he got hold of it and wanted to talk about it. It's now starting to filter over to America. And Sam, I'm hoping we can get something over in Australia as well, because I know there's a big community of you guys out there. Here's hoping.
Well, it's not just, it's all UK, all the colonies, South Africa, Germany, all of them. There's a massive barbecue community all the way around the world. They all go out go about things slightly different, but we're all doing the same stuff, and we're all sort of united by flame or cooking over
We're all
charcoal.
in it for food.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And-
pretty much.
Let's be honest. It's
And-
the food that brings us together, but the
Yeah.
community is just incredible.
Very much so. Very much so.
Yeah.
So also, well, this is a slightly barbecue-y question, but what sort of direction do you see barbecue in the UK moving in 2021?
Well, hopefully hand in hand with each other is kind of what I'd like off the back of this, but it's a tough one. I mean, personally, I noticed throughout kind of the last lockdown last year that people tended to turn to barbecue as a way of getting through things and, you know, spending more time with family. So, there's everything.
From Jail Butchers just said he'll do everything he can to help push the queue together hashtag.
Cheers, James. Thanks, man.
Good man.
Yeah, really appreciate that. Great meat as well.
Yeah, very, very good meat.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I know this is just an idea, but I know, Rush, you send out the little leaflets, don't you, with your orders?
Yep.
Maybe if you two had like a little, chat, maybe you get some stuff sent out with some of the JL Butcher stuff like that. That would reach a lot of people really quickly.
Yeah. And I'll just hang on 1 second.
He's about to show off his latest purchase, I should imagine.
No, not at all.
Oh,
We've got these flyers that go
okay.
hand in hand with your barbecue talks as well. So we've got these flyers that have got details on there. So what I'll do is I'll rework these, and if James, if you're interested and anybody else is interested, then by all means, I'm more than happy to get them shipped down to you, mate.
He said, absolutely. Please send me the leaflets.
Awesome, will do, mate. Will do.
Thank you, mate.
Cool.
Oh,
There you go. Everybody wants to help. Everyone wants to get involved.
The community it never fails to surprise you, does it? Ever?
No.
Like you think it couldn't get any better, and you get people, like James just stepped in and said, "Yeah, let's get it going." Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff.
Brilliant.
You do. Well, I personally, for myself, I've got a busy job. I like to sit down outside and just look after the drum, if that makes sense. But it's just a quiet couple of hours for myself, and you can just sort of just re-level, if that makes sense. And I think a lot of people feel the same.
Definitely. There you go. So Moose Gal's Corner, same thing for someone that deals with mental health issues. I appreciate the thoughtful conversation. I'm more impressed that dudes are discussing mental health.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier, this stigma of it isn't acceptable to talk. It needs to fuck off.
Yeah.
It is. It is okay to be not okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say it needs to go away, but fuck off.
No, the way isn't strong enough, Ryan. It isn't strong enough.
I'm sure the chat's going.
I like to use the F word.
I bet the chat's going mad now, with you dropping that F bomb.
It's gone past the watershed now, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'll let you into a queue. There's no watershed on the internet. You can say what the fuck you like whenever you want about anything.
I like to pretend. Come on, give me something. No, definitely.
Fab.
Well, new products.
Yes.
I know that we've got a new one coming. I don't want to ruin the surprise because you're announcing it properly tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah.
Do
So
you want to give people a hint of what it is if they haven't seen your Instagram already?
Yeah, it's honey based, and it's something we started working on about 12 months ago, and I kind of meant to bring it out around about September, October time last year, but we had a real manic run into Christmas. I didn't want to kind of take the foot off the pedal from that side of things, so I thought we'll hang on till January and we'll kick it out there. But it's a sweet version of a much loved flavour, shall we say?
There we go.
Going live tomorrow.
We'll leave it at that. Just so that we don't spoil it.
1 o'clock on Instagram. We'll be going live with a friend of mine called Dom over in Northern Ireland, Carnage Carnivore, and we'll be going through, and he's going to do a cook and release it live, kind of on my behalf. We're going to do a bit of a Q&A with him online. So, yeah, watch this space, guys. It's a good one. It is a good
I'm
one.
looking forward to that one. I mean, I say it every time we have you on. I can't vouch enough for your stuff. And
what you mean this stuff?
Yeah, that's stuff. We were discussing earlier the little prototype you sent me.
Yeah.
I think you should put it out there on your Instagram that people should pick the name using the hashtag Q together.
Yeah.
And then we pick the best one and you release it.
I think that's a good idea. I think we'll do that, man.
I think it needs to come out. It is incredible, but it needs to come out in smaller packets because there's no way you'll ever use a packet you've given me. Not unless you're fucking bonkers and you want to like chuck maybe a tablespoon of go in there and never have any taste buds left. But yeah, it's hot stuff. Definitely. I think that's another way that we can push it.
Yeah, definitely. Mate, I've got to thank, I've always said this. I thank you guys, both you and Ryan, for bringing Chip Dust to the front. It was something that I developed and I fell in love with. And I just thought, yeah, do you know what? People won't buy this, so I'm not going to put it out there. You kind of mentioned it and like, actually, yeah, go on, give it a go. Mate, it's one of my best sellers now. It really is. It's a popular one to the point that I may potentially be thinking about doing a standalone product line of Chip Dusts in different shapes and forms, potentially. So,
you know what? I think, now this is big ambitions. If that went into supermarkets, you'd be fucking minted. Because that stuff just, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's like sprinkled with like unicorn dust. It's just magical.
Well, funny you should say that. That could potentially be part of the business plan for the next 12 months.
Good lad.
You're going to start farming unicorns or something?
Just their farts, mate. Just their
the unicorn farts. That's what goes in the Chip Dust.
Exactly.
Unicorn farts. Nice. Good man.
Yeah, we've got a busy year ahead of us this year. We've got lots of plans to take it to the next level and loads of new rubs that we've got in development. I know we're digressing slightly from the mental health, but we've got a great range of sources that I'm working on at the moment, and they're all British focused sources. And when I was listening into your show a few weeks back, and Marcus was
going to say that was something that we suggested, was it?
Once again, do you know what? You'll be asking for commission soon, won't you?
Never. No, it's a part of the community. Like I said, when on that particular show, I said I want something that we can call it in the UK. Yeah, fuck off. We made this. And if it goes global and people are like, this is amazing. Yeah, that's what English barbecue's about.
Well, that's what we'll work towards. We'll go for that.
I mean?
But
absolutely.
Do you know what? Part of my product development is to include the community as much as possible. And shameless plug for my Facebook community group here, the Rusty Barbecue Co. community. All of the new products that we bring to the market, and we need to go through rigorous testing, and it's one thing me saying they're good, but I like to get that feedback from other people that it is kind of the right way to go, and I use that Facebook community in particular to kind of to get testers on board to try it, and we've got 2 sources that have gone out to people for this weekend to try out and give feedback on the first release of this British fruit based barbecue sauce.
Ooh.
So watch this space.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, got a couple of really good ideas with different stuff, and I want to keep it kind of close to British and see if it works. It could completely die on its arse. One thing I've learned out from the barbecue community and selling rubs and stuff over the last 5 years is that 9 times out of 10 people go for the comfort and they go for the American names or the American inspired flavors. So this is completely left field. But you guys know that I'm a massive supporter of UK produce to the point that we've actually invested in a research program with a university to look at potentially growing some of the ingredients that we use in our barbecue rubs over here in the UK. So the pimento peppers that you use to make your paprikas out of potentially, and the chilies are coming on leaps and bounds over here. You've got some great chili growers around the UK. So I want to look over the next 12 months as to whether we can do that, but it has to be in an ethical way that we're not going to have to plug these plants full of chemicals and crap to get them to grow.
Yeah, absolutely right.
That's a really cool idea. That's really good.
Thanks,
like that.
definitely. What have we got?
That was an actual question from Charlie in the chat, and you pretty much just answered that.
Sorry.
So
Oh.
there you go, Charlie.
Without
Yeah,
even knowing.
How do you come up with flavors and try them out? There you go. That's how Russ does it.
Absolutely.
I listen to you two.
You know, we chew the fat and then we just spit out ideas, and Russ takes them.
Yeah.
You know, the fruit based stuff. I think when was that? That was got to be end of summer, wasn't it? I mentioned something about wanting some UK fruit based barbecue sauce. And I think that night you sent me a message saying, I'm working on it.
Mate, do you know what? That's one thing that I never want to do. And we've had opportunities to potentially grow the business at a quicker rate than we wanted to. But one thing I never want to do is get away from, you know, that closeness and the ability to be able to take an idea or something, a concept, and to kind of flip it around quite, not quickly is probably the wrong word, but to flip it around in a period that, you know, we don't have to wait for packets to be sent over from China or stickers to come in from so-and-so. It's something that we can kind of flip quite quickly. And I suppose that's, again, it's another business focus of us in 2020 is we're looking to grow our supplier network, because I think I mentioned to you guys before that we churned over, or I hand blended over 400 kilos of rubs last year, which is immense. You know, I'd like to say I've got the guns to show for it, but not yet, unfortunately.
I keep on going like that, mate. You will.
Yeah. I will always want to outsource the sales of the products and never the production of, because when you let go of the production, you let go of the quality control. So for me, I'm looking, and something I'm going to be pushing quite hard this year is kind of our supplier network, and got a great one over in Ireland, a chap called Leon Bester that runs Barbecue Life Ireland over there. So we got some big plans with them coming up this year, and I just need to kind of translate that now into the UK and pull that through a UK.
No, definitely.
We'll have to get him
anything we can do to help get that going for you, mate. Just shout.
Just your love and support. That's all I need, mate.
Always. You know, you always got a place with us, mate.
Keep stroking the ego, mate. Oh, we could go so many ways with that.
I'm not going to.
Leon, here's a good. Leon, he's a good guy. Okay. Can you elaborate on that, Steve?
Yeah. So Leon is he runs, as I said earlier on, Barbecue Life Ireland, i.e., which he gets a lot of producers' products and kind of sells them on his website, because things are quite hard to get over there in Ireland at the moment. Northern Ireland, maybe not quite so much, but the Irish market is very different, and there's not a huge amount of choice. And I was chatting to him the other day, and I said, you know, he sort of said to me, sauces don't seem to move that much. And I said, well, in the UK, I think that's because you can go down to your local Sainsbury's or Tesco's, and, you know, you can pick up your bull, you can pick up your Sweet Baby Ray's now for a couple of quid, and the variety that you've got available is vast. And he said that's not here in Ireland. He said it's just not there. So he's also, funny enough, he's one of the demo chefs for Weber. So he's a guy that knows what he's doing, and obviously he's been hit quite hard because all of his demo work has been taken away this year. But yeah, no, really good guy. So if you are based in Ireland, you know, hit him up. He's a great guy. He's got a great range of products on his website as well. Support some of the other great, you know, UK brands. So yeah, get involved.
Oh, brilliant.
Definitely. Well, I think we've got to the end of our questions, and we're right.
Yeah, that's amazing. Good timing. We're just bang on the hour. We've got some quick fire questions if you fancy doing some of them for a little bit of a giggle.
Hell yeah.
Just to draw a line under the heavy weighted topic it has been this week, but important all the same. And I think it's definitely been worthwhile getting it out there, and hopefully people will listen and take note and reach out and use the hashtag.
Yeah.
I'm certainly going to help some guys in the USA, and I definitely know they'll be on it. They've got some decent sized groups. Kenneth, if you're listening, I'll be hitting you up later on, mate.
Cheers, Ryan.
we've got some hot fire cues, we call them. They're quite random, but they're quite good
Well, I
fun as
wouldn't
well.
say they're random. They're quite kind of barbecue related, aren't they? So
Yeah, mostly barbecue. You've sort of like pulled it. I must admit, you've sort of pulled them in a little bit. They were fucking random when I done it.
oh yeah, no, they were. Yeah, they were real random. But
So,
they're really not that many. So it really is quite like a hot fire, real quick round. But
Okay.
I think we're getting there. We're developing them as we go. So you know.
Cool.
right, off we go then. Hot and fast or low and slow?
Oh, can I give a bit of context? Because this
No,
is difficult.
No,
right?
it's hot and fast. You just got to pick one. You can't talk about it.
I'm going to have to go hot and fast. But
Right,
for UK
okay.
stuff, low and slow for American and imported Australian.
Day or night?
Night.
Beer or spirits?
Beer.
Lump or briquette?
Oh, lump every time.
Pork or beef?
Pork.
Ribs, wet or dry?
Oh, I've fallen in love with dry ribs recently, so I'm going dry.
Alright.
Butcher paper or foil?
Butcher's paper, 100%.
Alright. Wrap it or let it ride?
Wrap and go, man. Wrap and go.
And that's the end of
Hey! Can I go
Yeah.
back to the hot and fast and low and
Yes,
slow
you
question?
can. Go on.
Oh,
We'll let you off.
do you know what? And I know obviously James is on here, so I'm not treading on anyone's toes, I hope, when I say this, but personally, I find that, you know, you can cook the UK grass-fed briskets, for example, a lot quicker and, you know, better if you do it hot and fast. But I don't get the same results necessarily from a hot and fast off of like a Canadian import, for example, or an Australian that's been grain fed. So that's kind of why I was a bit in two minds with that one.
Definitely. Yeah, Jules has put, thank you for bringing this to the table, so important. And yeah, thank you for providing the vessel.
Well, yeah, well done, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Jules. That's really kind of you, and thank you, Russ, for coming on.
No, you're
So-
anytime, mate.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, it's something that is clearly quite prominent to all three of us. And you guys, you know, anyone that's watching, listening, if you need somebody to reach out to, any of us, just reach out. Or, you know, we've already mentioned the numbers and the charities that are there. There's plenty of other charities that you can reach out to speak to. Even if it's like friends, family, just reach out. Don't feel like you have to suffer alone.
Well, I'm going to put all the links into the UK charities on the YouTube video, and I'll also probably put some links in on the podcast.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to that, you'll have all the links. There'll be the hashtags up. There'll be everything. I'll give you all the opportunities. Thank you for listening. And just if you need them, use them. If you don't, try and help someone. That's probably the simplest message I can give. Thanks, Russ, for coming on. Let us know all about your social medias if you can run through them.
Yep. So my social media handle is at the Rusty Barbecue Co. Both on Facebook and on Instagram. YouTube, I haven't bitten the bullet properly yet and gone with, so I'm not on there. But yeah, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at the Rusty Barbecue Co.
Good man. Are you going to stick around for the pub club?
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right. Let's head our way to the pub club. See
Cool.
you guys very shortly.